everyone, this is Faith from faithsbizacademy.com. In this particular Canva tutorial, I will be showing you how to actually create a seamless digital paper design using individual graphics. And then using this new digital paper that we have created, I will be showing you how to create 8 different types of stationery printables that you can sell. All right, so everything is going to be done in Canva. Are you ready? Let's get started. Before we dive into the actual creating process, I just want to show you what it means by stationery printables. Typically, the stationery printables, if you were to go on Etsy.com and you search printable stationery or stationery printables, what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of writing papers, right? Lined papers, blank papers in gorgeous designs. And what we're seeing is there are a lot of designs that are florals, right? In florals design. So it's really simple, and you can tell that, you can actually sell these as single page printables as well, and they are super easy to create. So these are something that I want to show you how to create in this particular video. But not only that, I want to expand it to show you a different variety of printables that you can create and sell as well. Everything is going to be super simple and easy. What I have received feedback based on the other Canva tutorials that I have done is that my viewers love watching the video once through to get an idea of what is going on, and then after that rewatch it again and follow it step by step. So feel free to speed up, slow down, pause, and have 2 windows open, one on Canva and one on YouTube, and just watch and follow along, because as you watch and follow along, you will be able to create new products within this session. All right, so here we have on Etsy, like I'm showing you, we have different types of printable stationery, and many of them are actually in floral designs. Now, I am going to be working with this set of graphics pack called the Fairies graphics pack. And this is actually a set of Canva templates that I have created for my Canva templates vault. It's a membership program where my members get unlimited access to all the new Canva templates and new exclusive trainings that I create every 4 to 6 weeks. Not only do you have access to this particular set of templates, we already have hundreds of, in fact, thousands of pages, okay? More than $2,000 worth of templates and trainings inside our vault. If you're interested to find out more, please check our video description to get access on how to get access to our Canva Templates Vault membership, okay? So I'm going to be working with this set of Fairies graphics pack, particularly the butterfly graphics. And what you're seeing is we have these lined notes pages, and we also have to-do lists like this one. We also have small note cards like these, and even greeting cards, very generic greeting cards that you can use as postcards and modify them into party invitations. Anything is possible, okay? Simple designs like this, and even like Post-its, okay? I'll be touching a bit more later on, all right? So I'm gonna show you how to create each of these in this particular video tutorial. Now, we are going to start by creating the digital paper, right? Let's go to the left-hand side section. That is where you upload your graphics. So I bought this graphics pack, and it gives me commercial use license rights. So in fact, it comes with master resale rights, which means I can use these graphics in my Canva templates and then sell my templates. So this is really awesome, and the graphics are really beautiful. If you want to get this set of graphics too, same thing, check out our video description, and there is my affiliate link to purchase this graphics, okay? Now, we are going to start by creating the digital paper, as I've just mentioned moments ago. So let's go to File and create a new design. If you want to sell digital papers, we're gonna, usually they're either in 1200 pixels or 3600 pixels. So this time around, I'm going to create the final digital paper is going to be in 3600 pixels, all right? But we need to kind of start with something small and then piece it together to create this seamless digital paper design. So I'm going to start with 1200 pixels first. So 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels and create a new design. So there we have it. Once again, on the left-hand side menu, go to the upload section. This is where you upload your own graphics. So you can see that I've actually uploaded some really beautiful clip art from this graphics pack. We've got fairies, we've got this mushroom graphics, pretty fairies like this. and what I want to use are these butterflies. Okay, so let's have them. So once again, the emphasis is on it being a seamless digital paper design. So what do I mean? So if you have one piece of digital paper and you're going to add them together, you should be able to see a seamless digital pattern, right? Nobody can tell where it began and where it ends. So that is what we're trying to achieve. So how do we do it? Using individual graphics. Let's start with this one first. Now we've got this, right? And as you move around, you notice that there are pink lines that will appear. These pink lines will help you align your graphics on this particular page. So I'm going to move this all the way up. And do you see that there's this vertical pink line? It means that this graphic is right in the middle, okay? And then I'm going to shift it upwards until I find, now this pink line cuts across the graphic. So now we have it right, we have it right halved, right in the middle, okay? So that's that. Control D to duplicate, or you can press this little duplicate icon and then I'm going to shift it downwards. Okay, same thing, you're going to find a vertical pink line to help me make sure that this butterfly graphic is right in the center line of this page. Moving it down until I find the pink horizontal line that cuts this graphic horizontally into half, and then let go. So what we're doing is, you can see this white square with the butterfly graphic on top and the butterfly graphic at the bottom, right? So if I were to duplicate these squares and put them one on top of the other, the butterfly images will conjoin seamlessly. Okay, so this is what we need to do. So then let me add some more butterflies. Same thing. Instead of putting it at the top and the bottom, I want to use the other edges of the square. So here I'm going to shift it all the way until I find that vertical pink line. Do you see that? It cuts this butterfly into half, and a horizontal pink line to make sure that I'm in the middle. It just helps me align the elements much easily, okay, much more easily. Control D to duplicate and shift things to the left hand side. Find the vertical pink line that cuts the butterfly into half. Find the horizontal pink line that shows me it's right in the middle, so that once again you can see this butterfly is now split into half. If we were to piece this white square side by side or top and bottom, we will be able to see that the butterflies will conjoin seamlessly. And then let's just add something else to the mix and have it right here. This one is in the middle, so I'm not so worried about the alignment, but if you want, you can still find the pink lines to help you find the middle. Or you can also go to the top menu, go to position, click on position, and make sure it's in the middle or in the center. So if I were to just misalign it, position, go to middle, right in the middle of the page, and go to center in the center of the page, all right? And now I want this to be a little bit more fancy. I want to add some more to the corners as well. Okay, so same thing, we want to use the butterfly images. Let's choose this one right here. Now this one is a little bit trickier, so let's just do this. You can actually orientate it anywhere you want, all right? Then, and same thing, the principle is the same. You want to adjust it until you find the pink lines to help you align them. Do you see now we have dotted pink lines? So now in this case, this particular butterfly is cut into quadrants, okay? And then we let go. Ctrl D to duplicate, move it to the right hand side, top right hand corner, finding the pink lines, this new pink lines, cutting the butterfly into another quadrant. Ctrl D to duplicate, shifting it down, adjusting it until you see once again the pink lines dividing this butterfly image into another quadrant. Duplicate it and just shifting it and finding the pink lines. So you have to be a little bit more patient with it. And if you find that it's really hard, so sometimes zooming in might help you, okay? So let's just try again. I'm not seeing both lines, so we just have to be very careful with these. Let's just shift it until we find it right. Whoops. Now my mouse is sliding too much. Okay, let's try that again. Right here. Okay, do you see? Vertical, horizontal pink lines cutting my butterfly into yet another quadrant. So this is it. If I want to, I can actually add more butterfly images to fill up the spaces. That is entirely up to you too. But this would be it. Now, one thing to note is that we would want to download this with transparent background. But as you can see, when I go to the share button on the top right hand corner and click on download, this transparent background feature is only available to Canva Pro users. This is definitely worth the price, in all honesty, okay? But well, if you don't want to sign up for Canva Pro account, that is entirely up to you. I totally respect that. That is also okay. But what you want to do, what I want to share with you is that if you save this as transparent background, it's going to give you a lot more flexibility when it comes to using this digital paper for other designing purposes. So with a transparent background, you can then superimpose it on any other colored backgrounds to give you a whole wide range of different digital paper designs. Whereas if you have it in JPEG, if you only use a free account and you only can download it without the transparent background, then what you probably have to do, if you still want different designs, right? Then make this duplicate and then click to select your canvas and change the background color. Let's say change it to black. Okay, so then you want to make variations. Let's duplicate this again, and instead of black, maybe I can have it as gray, something like this. So remember, this is not the final digital paper design. We're just creating a small part of it, and we're still going to export this and piece them together to create that final 3600 by 3600 by 3600 pixels digital paper. Okay, why am I doing this again? If you do not have the Canva Pro account, you're only using the free version, you are not able to download a transparent background, then what I recommend you to do is you can actually change the colors of this backdrop. So now you have three colors, right? One with the white background, one with the black, and one with the dusty gray, okay? And after that, you can then use these smaller pieces to piece them up into larger pieces. If you're actually using the Canva Pro account, then you don't have to decide on the background color right now, because what we want to do is to download it with a transparent background. Okay, you will get what I mean as you watch on. Okay, so please continue watching. Now click share, download, and I'm going to click PNG file, and I'm just going to select the current page, which is page 1. And make sure to check the checkbox for transparent background, and we download it. Okay, so what I'm having is this little square that is 1200 by 1200 pixels. I'm going to piece it together onto a 3600 by 3600 new canvas. Okay, so let's go to file and click on create new design, custom size 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels, and create a new design. And now that we have downloaded the one that we did, right? Remember the 1200 by 1200, we need to re-upload it onto Canva. Upload it right here, like this one. Upload it. And now what we want to do is, well, simple math, 3600 divided by 1200 would be 3. Okay, so we need to have 9 of these to piece them out into a 3600 by 3600 digital paper. Okay, so click on this one. Now, how do we resize it? Drag the corners, the small circles at the corners help you resize it. And one thing to note, when you're dragging it, this little black rectangle box appears, right? W is the width, H is the height. So we're going to drag it until it gets me to 1200 by 1200. Okay, now if it's difficult to do that, zoom in a little bit more so that you can make finer adjustments. Okay, 1200 by 1200, this requires some patience, guys. But once you get it, it's going to be so much easier in the next few steps. Okay, let's just do that. Ultimate focus. I'm still trying to get that. All right, zoom in a bit more, and let's do that again. There we go. So when you zoom in, when you zoom in into your canvas, it's so much easier to do the fine adjustments, okay? Now let's zoom out. Now I'm not gonna touch it anymore because now this is the right size, 1200 by 1200 pixels. Push it to the corner, top left corner, same thing, the pink lines appear to help you position it. Now, Control D to duplicate and piece it. Do you see that? We are slowly putting together our digital paper. Control D to duplicate again. Now I've got 3 in a row. Click, drag, Control D, shift it down like this. Click, drag, Control D to duplicate, shift it down like this. There we have it. There we have it. Do you see? It's seamless now. We have a seamless digital paper design. And what did we start with? We started with individual butterfly graphics, okay, butterfly clip art. And now if you just mix and match, make some butterflies bigger, some smaller, orientate them differently, or add other elements to it, you will have a whole lot of digital paper designs that you can create, okay? So this is it. This is the design that I want to use, so I'm happy with this. And I'm going to download it. Once again, I have the Canva Pro account, so I'm just going to download it as transparent background. Okay, download, transparent background, and click on download. So now I have this full digital paper design now. So we just wait a while. But meanwhile, let's start another new project. Why? Because remember, at the end of this session, I do want you to be able to create stationery printables, right? And I'm gonna show you 8 different ones. Okay, we're gonna modify differently, and we're gonna have 8 different types of printables that you can create and then sell on Etsy or anywhere on your own website or any other online platform, okay? Or you can even print them out and sell them as physical products too. So let's go to File, go to Create New Design. This time around, I'm just going to search for US. We're going to use the US letter document, 8.5 by 11 inches. Remember our butterfly digital paper. We're going to re-upload it right here. Now, once again, what I did just now was, remember we had the transparent background, right? Oh, I think I should just show you if you don't have the Pro version. Let's use this black one and let's download this black one. Page 2. The steps are the same. I'm just going to have this and piece it together. Whereas if you have the Pro version, it's so much easier because once I upload this, for example, like this, right? I can just stretch it, and then I can duplicate it, and then I can just change the background on whatever that I'm going to create. It's so much faster, so much easier. So it's a lot more flexible if you're starting with something with transparent background. Okay, but once again, not to worry. If you're not using the Canva Pro version, you just need a few more steps. So we need to re-upload. Now this time around, because I didn't use the transparent background, right? And I used the black version, and there we go. Because if you don't change the color, you're gonna have it as white anyway. So you might as well change the color before downloading it so that you can have a variety, all right? So here we've got a black one, steps are the same. Let's zoom in, make sure we shrink it down to 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels right here. And then what we're going to do is shift it to the top left hand corner, use the pink lines to guide you, Control D to duplicate, Control D again, there we go, click and drag, Control D to duplicate, and there we go. So now you see with the black background, it's also more obvious if there are actually gaps in between, so you just want to make sure that you fill up those gaps. Okay, you can use your arrow key to move left and right. So this looks beautiful. Control D, same thing. We want to make sure everything is aligned. Okay, do you see that that's this? Let me just zoom in. That's this faint white line right here, right here. Okay, so you want to make sure, especially if you already have a colored background, you want to make sure you seal up all those little lines. Control D to duplicate. And right like this, use arrow key to move up a little bit more, and we get rid of the seam. So now it's seamless. Now if you see this dotted white square, that's because my margins are turned on. So go to File, go to View Settings, and you can click off or click on Show Margins, Show Print Bleed, Show Rulers and Guides. It's up to you. So let's just remove that. So now we can see the digital paper in its entirety. So this black background is also really lovely, right? So once again, I redid this step because if you are using the Canva free account, you want to create a variety of digital papers, then you can download the small squares with colored background first before piecing it into the 3600 by 3600 final size that you want to use. Okay, now let's hop back to our US letter size page. Delete this. Okay, so let's start from scratch again. Let's name these butterflies, stationery, printables. And I'm going to the left hand side menu, the element section, and I would like to use the grid. Why? Because when I click on the grid, this is like a frame, right? It's a grid. Once I drag and drop any image, the image gets auto-populated and it fills up the entire space. So it's really easy, especially if I'm actually dragging and dropping digital papers. All right, so drag and drop. There you go. So there we have our butterflies, and you can double click on it to resize it so that you decide what you want to be seen. Okay, so like this. Now remember, stationery printables, we have blank sheets, just very pretty, but with blank spaces to write. So now that we have this as the background, what are we going to do? Go to Elements and search for simple shapes here. And here on the top menu, color, I'm going to change it to white, and I don't want it to have any border, so all I need to do is resize it like this. There we go. Number one, a blank sheet of printable stationery, a printable notes page. Okay, duplicate this. Now I want the lined ones. What do I do? Very simple. Double click on this rectangle that you have already created. Just hold down the underscore or dash key. I prefer underscore, and just hold it down until you get like about 2 lines. Okay, so if you want more spaces or want larger spaces, you can actually increase the font size or increase the line spacing. But I quite like this one. I think this is pretty decent. If you want to change the color of the lines, that's also possible because this is considered as text. Go to this text and you can change color. I like to use the eyedropper function. Go to the color swatch, eyedropper, and let's pick up this dark purple on these butterflies. Okay, let's highlight this, change it to the dark purple. Just repeat the step again, eyedropper, pick off the dark purple. Okay, so these are supposed to be dark purple instead of black, but I guess it's not too obvious because it's dark purple. But do you see that? Do you see nice pink? Okay, so just to show you, it did change. Okay, it did change. Maybe I should just use a lighter purple so you can tell the difference. Color dropper function here. Let's choose this one, and there we go. Now it's lighter purple. Highlight these 2 rows and Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl V, Ctrl V all the way until you fill up the entire page with these lines. Okay, that's it. That's it, guys. One page. Number 1, a blank notes page. Number 2, a lined notes page, and it was done in what? A matter of seconds, right? Now, what do we have next? Duplicate this. I want to duplicate the blank copy because it's easier. And now I want to create to-do lists. Okay, to-do list. Let's go to element section. I'm going to use the table feature. And here, do you see this ellipse menu? Click on that. I want to delete the column. I only want 1 column. Here, resize it. Okay, and just click on tab. Every time you click on tab, it adds a new row. There we have it, to-do list. You can also shrink it down like this. Okay, so here, when you use the circles to adjust it, you're actually resizing all of them at a go. So all of them are actually resized equally. But if you're using the short white lines, then you're actually not resizing equally. Do you see that? When I drag this to the top, only the topmost box get resized. That is not what I want. I want all of them to be resized equally. So you click and drag the corners, okay? You can also change the color of this. Just make sure you select the table. Now, do you see that sometimes I might have trouble trying to just select the table, but now I'm selecting both the table and the white rectangle. So in order to avoid that, click on the white rectangle, go to the top right hand corner and click on lock. So once you lock it down, you cannot move it, you cannot adjust it. It just makes it easier. You kind of just seal things in place, and then you can select the other elements more easily. And here we go to the grid, go to the border, and I want to choose the same light purple as well. Okay, I'm creating a to-do list, and then I am going to select lines and shape, just a simple line. You can choose the color of the line. In this case, I want it to match also the lilac purple color. Border weight, you can choose dashed, dotted, up to you. Line weight, I'm going to choose 1. Like this, or maybe 2. Okay, it looks more matchy with that, and just drag it and shifting it here so that it matches the line of the box. Ctrl D to duplicate right here, and Ctrl D. Once you fix down the first spacing, and subsequently each time you add Ctrl D, it more or less hits the same spacing as well. Okay, and then I'm going to shift this slightly upwards, and then if you are observant enough, you will see that the bottommost spacing between these two lines are smaller than the rest. So we need to make sure everything is even out, right? So click and drag and highlight all the lines, go to position and make sure that they are spaced evenly, vertically, evenly spaced. Now we're talking, there we go, to-do list. That's it. It can be any kind of to-do list. It could be a daily to-do list, a weekly to-do list. You can just name it however you want. If you want to name it, just add on a text. Okay, to-do list. And there we have it right here. Change it to purple. Now it's a bit too faint. Go to effects, add some shadow. I want the shadow to be black. And something like that. Okay, so if you're new to Canva and you find that some of the functions that I'm using might seem a little bit complicated to you, not to worry. Please check out my other Canva tutorial with more than 25 tips for beginners. It's going to give you a very good overview on the different features on Canva, and then you will feel like a pro, okay? So there we have it, number 3, to-do list. Number 4, add a new page. We're gonna create smaller notes cards, okay? Go to elements, rectangle, same thing. Now we're gonna create 3 by 5 inches notes card. So when you know that you have to adjust dimensions, what do? You zoom in, you use the little circles, you find a height of 5, and you find a width of 3, and there we go. But I do not want this turquoise color, so I'm going to change it to transparent, and I do want a border. So go to this border style, click on solid line, dotted line, however you want, border weight of 1, and there we go. So I've got this one right here. So on a US letter size page, I can fit 4 3 by 5 inch notes card, small notes card, okay? Same thing, I'm going to go to elements and use the grid, but in this case, now once you click on the grid, it fits to the background right away. Not to worry, go to position, move it forward, and now you resize this grid such that it fits your 3 by 5 inch card. Okay, there we go. And then what do? Same thing, we go to the upload section, and because I'm going to click and drag my butterflies in there, double click to resize it, and just trying to see what I want to show on this page like this. Okay, what I'm looking out for is that because there is the border of the 3 by 5 inch card, right? I don't want any of the edges to have white spaces. So I'm looking really carefully at this black line because that is where the outline is, right? I want the butterflies to actually fill up the edge of the paper, okay, of that little card. So this is what I'm trying to do. Now we've got this. Now this is a small notes card, right? So similarly, it would be similar to this particular US letter size blank notes page, but we're creating a small notes card. The process is the same. Just add on a simple rectangle, change it to white color or any color that you want, in all honesty, but white would be what I want, what I would prefer. And then there we have it. If you want it to be centralized, same thing. Move it with your mouse and then find the pink lines to help you guide and put it right smack in the center. And there we go. So this is the blank 3 by 5 inch little nose card. Click and drag. Let's see. Okay, we also want to make sure that the frame, the black outline frame, is all the way to the top. Okay, there we go. Click and drag, and then after that, Control D to duplicate right here, zooming out, click and drag, Control D to duplicate right here. We need to click and drag and move it upwards a little bit so it does fit for such note cards, okay? Well, the black outlines just makes it easier for people to actually cut it out, okay? Once again, also check out, remember just now at the beginning of the video, I showed you my Fairies Printables pack, right? This is actually for sale, and in the other video, I actually show you how to actually customize this pack if you have it in your hands. And I also show you the actual printouts because it was really fun to print it out and basically show you the colors and how it works and stuff like that. So do take note of that video after you finish this one, okay? Let's come back here. So this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, type 4. Duplicate again, and now we're gonna have the lines. So what do? Very simple, but this time around I'm gonna change the font size to 10, and similarly just hold down the underscore, probably get about 2 rows, and then highlight both rows, Control C to duplicate, and just hit Control V until everything is filled. Okay, now instead of repeating the process, I'm going to copy this rectangle, Control C, Control V here, like this, and then hold down the Shift key to select both rectangles with the lines and press Control V to duplicate and shift them down right here. Okay, right here, and there we go. So we've got 4 lined small notes card. Okay, this is yet another printable stationery that you can print out on your own for use, or you can upload and sell. Okay, now what else? Now the other thing is I want to create a new page, and I want to show you how to create this 4 by 6 inch greeting card. Okay, let's go back to this. Now 4 by 6, but it has to be a foldable greeting card. So now the width needs to be 8. Stretch it out until you see width as 8 and height as 6. Okay, height as 6. Just a little bit more, and then change it to transparent color with the border. If you want, you can have dotted lines, border width here. Now it fits right here. I'm also going to add a line so that it divides the card in the middle, so when someone prints it out, they know exactly where to fold it. Okay, dotted line, border line with border width as 1. Just rotate it and stretch it out. Use the pink line to guide you, and there we go. And then one more transparent border weight as 1. And this time around, I'm just, because the 4x6" foldable card, I can only fit one on a US letter size page, and I don't want to waste the space here. So I want to do another 4x6" card. So this one can be like a printable postcard, okay? Width of 6 inches, height of 4 inches. There we go. There we go. So now that we have this set up, if you like, you can always make a duplicate so as you have the templates there. It's so much easier to change things around. Now, once again, one of my favorite features, clicking onto the grid. Once again, I'm going to the file. I'm going to get rid of the margins, okay? They're very distracting right now. So sometimes they can be very helpful, but not in this particular case. So here I added a grid. Why? Because then I can just click and drag my butterflies in there. And why isn't it dragging in there? Because the grid is not at the top, okay? So when you add different elements, you create layers on your page. So you hold down the command key, or if you're using a Mac like me, or you hold down the control key on your keyboard and you click until you find the right layer. Okay, so now the grid is being selected, positioning all the way to the front. And once it's at the front, do you see that? It's very easy for you to actually just click and drag into it. All right. Now I'm going to Control D to duplicate the grid because I want it on this one. So in this case, I've got a foldable 4x6" greeting card. Generic, you can add words to it. You can use it for any seasons you want, or you can just keep it generic so that it's evergreen, okay? And then here, this is just a 4x6 non-foldable postcard, you could call it, or just a notes card too, okay? Now, let me just zoom in. You will see that here, you have to look very closely, okay? Here, the butterflies, now the grid is on top of the black outline. So some parts, if you look really closely, some parts, the black lines cannot be seen. You can only see the butterflies, right? So that's because the butterflies are on the higher layer than the black rectangle frame. So I would like to move it backwards. There you go. So now you can see a clean, solid black outline. Same thing, this one, positioning it, moving it backwards. Okay. So remember, I want to show you that if I have a transparent digital paper, a digital paper with transparent background, pardon me, let's duplicate this. I can then change the background of it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is like this one here. What I'm selecting is the black outline, the rectangle with the black outline. And right here, you can see it has transparent color. So if I were to change it to black and then positioning it backwards, there we go. We have the butterflies, okay? Or you can add another layer of rectangle and put it right here because I want to change the background. I want to provide variety. I don't just want to have one set of printables. I want to beef up my contents when I sell this. So I can change these to black background. This is a black solid rectangle, positioning it backwards until it goes behind the butterflies. Get it? So you can just repeat the process and change different colors, and you'll end up selling a series of cards, right? I believe when you shop for stuff like this, you will see the same design but slightly different colors, right? So this is how you can do it really quickly, really easily, adding more pages of content to your product with just a few clicks. Okay, so we've got the US letter size blank notes page, the lines note page, the to-do list, the 3x5" blank notes card, 3x5" lined notes card, 4x6" foldable greeting card, 4x6" postcard. And last but not least, I'm going to show you, this is very versatile. You can end up using this as printable gift tags, or you can actually just use this as post-its. So what happened is, if you were to, hold that thought. Okay, let's start with the rectangle first. We want it to be 3x3 inches. Now you should be a pro already. drag until you get width of 3 inches and height of 3 inches. There we go. Change it to transparent background, border line, border weight 1. I want it to be solid or maybe dotted. Here we go. Here, that's 1 3 by 3 inch square. Control D to duplicate, that's 2. Click and drag, Control D, that's 4. And one more, Control D. Why isn't it aligned? Control D again, that's 6 of them. Okay, so there we go. If you want to make sure that evenly spaced, click and drag to select the elements, go to position, and if these are already not highlighted, it would mean that they are evenly spaced. Okay, so now if you print out this page and if you have 3 by 3 inch post-it notes, what you can do is you paste post-it notes on each of these squares, and then you can feed it back into your printer and print out designs. That's it. So copy this page, and then same thing, I'm going to use the grid, positioning it to the front, resizing it to fit that 3 by 3 inch square grid, and then go to my uploads, drag and drop my butterfly, there we go. But because I don't want like plain old post-it cards, so I want it to be fancy. And I have this background, but I still want it to be, to have spaces for me to write. So I go to the element section, click on this blank square, and just put it something like that, and make it white. And there we go. Okay, so that is it. Let me just delete this. Now, because now there's multiple layers, right? Click and drag to select, Control D to duplicate. And now if I want this one to have a slightly different background color, what I can do is I can click on this plain grid. This forms the outline, right? And right here, you can see that this is transparent right now, and I can change it to black, for example. But if you're worried about black being not very printer friendly, choose a different color and shift this grid with the butterflies back in position, and there we have it. So we have different ones, okay? And then you can just play around, click and drag, Control D to duplicate, shift it down to this spot, and maybe instead of a square, you can choose a circle instead. Under elements, choose a circle, change it to white, and then you can have it as your like this. So they can, the principle is the same. How you create this is really entirely up to you. You can use this, like I mentioned just now, if you use this template, if you print out this particular page, you paste your post-its on it, you can fit it into the printer and you can print out your own post-it designs. Or if you want it to be with inspirational quotes and stuff like that, you can type in your quotes and then print it out. Or you can actually add designs, and then after that just use it as a printable gift tag as well. You can just add, like, maybe in that case I don't want this, I add a small circle to it. I want it white this time with a border weight of 1, solid line. Right here I put it at the corner. Right here, this is where you punch a hole, and then you can add words like go to text and you can say happy birthday. Okay, and we're gonna put it right here. I'm just gonna expand it, but now it looks a bit too busy, so I'm going to effects, go to background, and instead of yellow, I'm gonna choose white background and adjust the spread of it. I don't want that much white space. I just want to make sure that my words can be seen, and that's it. Okay, so very, very versatile. If that is the final design that I want, I can just click and drag, Control D and Control D again and Control D again to fill up the entire page. And there we go. So we've got one full page. Okay, so we started with the purpose of printing our post-it notes to modifying it to create 3 by 3 inch gift tags. That is also very, very possible. And of course, when you're done, when you're happy with it, what you want to do is you go to share and you click on download, and you would usually download it as PDF. Now, the difference between PDF standard and PDF print, PDF standard has lower file size, which I personally find when you're selling digital products like these, US letter size page, this PDF standard would be sufficient, okay? And if you are worried that people might somehow extract the graphics from your PDF file, because you can actually import PDF files onto Canva to make them editable. It's good news and bad news. So if you don't want people to kind of tear up your PDF file, then you might want to have your final product as a flattened one. Now, I also have another Canva tutorial that talks about importing and exporting different file types using Canva. So check that out if you want to learn a bit more about the different file types that you can import and export from Canva, okay? So if you want to make sure that nobody takes your file and go back into Canva and extract your lovely butterfly digital paper, then flatten it, choose the PDF standard, click on download, twiddle your thumbs for a few moments, and you're gonna see your very, very lovely stationery printables in just a moment. And there we have it. There we have it. 8 different types of stationery printables. You can sell these as single page printables. You can package them together as this butterfly themed stationery set. It's really, really, you know, the marketing, the packaging is entirely up to you. I just hope that you have found this Canva tutorial to be extremely helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I do look through and read through all the comments and reply to them personally. And I would very, very appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more awesome videos from us. Me, Faith, from faithsbizacademy.com. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will see you around.